You aren't trying to save her. You are just using her drama so you don't have to look at your own empty life. You tell your friends you just have bad luck with unstable women, claiming you want a normal, healthy relationship. But the truth is, a healthy, stable woman would completely terrify you. Because a stable woman assesses you based on what you are actually building. A broken woman just needs you to fix her tire or listen to her vent about her ex at 2 a.m. You trade utility for intimacy because you are permanently terrified of being judged on your actual trajectory. There is a specific reason you find peace in her chaos, and until you name it, you will never attract anything else. Because the thing is, she makes you feel like a hero without requiring you to do any actual heroic work. You fix her flat tire and feel like a man. You pay her rent, assuming you're doing the noble thing by picking up the pieces of somebody else's life. But you aren't a savior. You are an emotional refugee. You run into a burning building because the fire distracts you from the fact that you haven't built a house of your own. You are 28 years old, coasting at a job you hate, and returning to a silent apartment. Her text messages at 3 a.m. are the only thing making you feel alive. You don't love her. You are addicted to the distraction. And you know exactly what this looks like in practice. You're sitting in your car at midnight. She's crying in the passenger seat, trauma dumping her entire childhood on you. You're sitting there, nodding, offering rational solutions to highly irrational emotions. You hear yourself saying, "I'm here for you," while your stomach twists into a knot because you know, deep down, she will never actually choose you. She will text you tomorrow to validate her feelings, and then she will sleep with a guy who entirely ignores her. Right now, you're formulating the excuse. You're thinking, I just naturally attract girls with problems because I'm a good listener. No. You attract girls with problems because women with their lives together do not tolerate men who shrink in their presence. Because you have built an entire identity around being the good guy who cleans up the mess. You probably learned this early on. You learned that being pleasing, compliant, and useful was the only way to earn love. So now, you seek out women who are fundamentally shattered because the baseline required to impress them is incredibly low. If a woman has a chaotic past, maxed out credit cards, and a history of toxic boyfriends, you only have to be slightly better to seem incredible. You don't date her because she is your equal. You date her because standing next to her dysfunction makes you feel superior without requiring you to actually grow as a man. You are weaponizing her trauma to protect your own ego. This is personal, not clinical. Literally just yesterday, I watched a guy in our community do this exact same routine. He spent 4 months playing therapist to a girl he was obsessed with. He bought her groceries, he drove her to the airport. Then she went to a party and hooked up with a bartender she met 10 minutes prior. He was devastated, but he shouldn't have been. To her, he wasn't a man. He was an emotional utility closet. You feel this right now, don't you? The quiet, gnawing exhaustion in your chest. The resentment building every time your phone buzzes with another one of her emergencies. You're exhausted because you are paying a massive emotional tax without getting any actual romantic return. You are funding an investment that will permanently bankrupt you. And I say this because I spent 2 entire years doing exactly what you are doing. I believed I could fix a girl if I just loved her hard enough and provided enough stability. I drained my savings. I lost sleep. My own business nearly collapsed because I was constantly managing her unpredictable emotional baseline. and the moment I had nothing left to give, she left. She didn't even look back. That was the moment the paradox finally made sense. The reason she wouldn't choose me was the exact reason you are stuck right now. We were operating under the false assumption that providing safety equals creating attraction. It doesn't. Providing safety simply creates dependency, and women do not sleep with men they are dependent on. They sleep with men they desire. Which leads us to the ultimate truth about your chaotic dating life. The typical narrative is that there is a crazy ex or an unstable woman who ruined your life. But if you look closely at your history, the only common denominator in every single chaotic relationship is you. You chose them. You walked past the calm, secure women because they bored you, actively avoiding the ones who demanded ambition and drive because you were secretly terrified you couldn't meet their standard. You selected the chaos deliberately. The problem was never the broken women you were choosing. The problem was your catastrophic lack of internal purpose. You have outsourced your entire masculine drive to managing another human being's crisis. If you do not fix this today, look at where you will be at 35. You will be emotionally hollowed out, bitter, sitting alone in an apartment while the chaotic women you tried to save eventually settle down with men who set actual boundaries. You will be the nice guy who gets invited to weddings but never has one. You will have a perfect, logical explanation for why the world is unfair, and it won't comfort you at all when the silence sets in. The shift I am demanding from you is subtraction. You do not need to learn a new opening line to talk to women. You need to subtract the safety net you are currently providing for the women who do not respect you as a man. Because the thing is, when the chaos is finally gone, all that is left is the silence, and that is exactly where the work begins. I need you to do one thing today, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Open your phone. Find the thread with the girl whose emergencies you have been managing, the one who texts you only when she's bored, lonely, or needs a favor. Delete the thread. Delete the number. Do not send a paragraph explaining why. Do not wait for closure. You just cut the cord and let the silence hit you. That panic you feel when you consider doing it, that proves you are addicted to her. It proves you are terrified of facing your own life without her problems to distract you. Cut the cord anyway. Because honestly, brother, it is time to stop playing the victim. You chose her. You actively selected the chaos because you knew a broken woman would never hold you to a brutal high standard. A broken woman would never ask you why you are still working a job you hate or why you stopped going to the gym. She was a mirror you used to feel taller without actually growing. Doing this is going to be incredibly lonely for a few weeks. That is the price of admission. Your fake sense of purpose is going to vanish, and you are going to feel totally empty. Let yourself feel it. It is infinitely better to be lonely and building your own empire than to be surrounded by chaos and building nothing. You do not have the luxury of wasting any more of your 20s fixing women who do not belong to you. Close the door on the chaotic relationships you are managing right now. Step into the silence. Choose this brotherhood over the passivity you have been settling for. We do not tolerate men who shrink. The era of playing savior is officially over. Time to build.